Milka, will you do the introduction?
Okay. Like right now?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay, welcome to Tinmore. Today we are going to be reading The Land of the Soviets, which is the very first Tintin um Tintin book, I guess.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so, my name is Koso, and I am joined by Mecca,
That's me.
that's him, and Milkai,
Hey.
that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are reading this Land of the Soviets.
Mhm.
Okay, wait. I'm
Yeah.
still finding a PDF. So like you guys can still go. You guys
Yeah.
can still go
Okay.
start
Okay.
reading.
Yeah, we'll start. Should I start? Or will you start, Mecca?
Yeah. You can
Okay.
start.
Yeah, okay. So in my version of the book that I have physically, I'm such a rich kid. It's not even colored,
Yeah.
so it's pretty hard to tell this out.
Colored version of it.
Yeah. And actually, on this first page, we see that Tintin works for a newspaper called Petit Wing Time. Time. Yeah. And Tintin going on the train, and yeah, and sleeping in the train.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a really weird guy with what?
He's on the train to Russia for an assignment.
Yeah, he got from that guy. And in another cabin, we see a man with a beautiful face, and his mouth looks like a banana. No offense. And he has like this
No, fair point.
yeah, and he has like this cannonball he sets off. I'm like, yeah, and then he goes like, me, I have fooled you, you foolish Tintin. And then the train blows up. The end.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But
And everyone dies but him.
yeah, but
Apparently.
yeah. And then in my book, Snowy says, "I hate wind." Yeah. Then he jumps off at the station, and the policeman or like the station guy, he's like, where are the other passengers?" And he's like, "Oh, the train blew up."
He just knows noticing.
Yeah. And for some reason, Tintin has a black eye.
Probably from the bomb that went off.
Yeah, but how would he have a black eye?
Yeah, how would he only have?
And then yeah, this guard like asks him what he's doing, and I think they are in Germany
I think so.
Yeah.
because there's like a sign saying "Halt," or that would say "Nalt" in Russian. So I don't think so. And yeah, then he goes to the police station, and yeah, and he gets sent in custody or like prison. I don't know. And then what?
They thought he blew up the train, didn't they?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Then the guard goes in the room, and we see some weird German translation. Then he takes his very big coat and revolver, and this looks pretty fun. And he
Yeah.
walks
Oh.
just out. What?
So small in that uniform.
Yeah. And then he goes to the Ausgang and takes a motorcycle and does a funny waving. Yeah.
He's like mocking them.
Yeah. And he runs out and they chase him in the car. And he like goes like Need for Speed Tintin edition. He's like screw it. And then they crash into a rock. And they fall off. And Tintin decides to climb in a tree. And then Snowy's like, he's dead because he left
Yeah.
his clothes on the ground.
Tintin's like, play it up, Snowy, so they think I'm actually dead.
Yeah, roleplay 101. And then he like goes up to this tree, and they're like 4 men after him for some reason, and he jumps into the car that they sat in and drives off. And they're like,
Snowy.
yeah, wee. Yeah, and the guards like all search his clothes. Like,
They're
yeah,
like, this is
also-
not him. And
Also
then see
something-
something evaporated.
Yeah, something notable is that Tintin. It's the first time Tintin's quiff goes up, and it just stays like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. For me, on the picture where they like take all of his the clothes, I see 4 shoes.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Oh. Yeah, that is.
I think it's like a belt and then a hat is what I think it is.
That's a weird hat. But yeah, he like steals a car, theft.
He does.
Yeah, and then we see a plane that was pretty fast to take off, and then the plane drops a bomb on the rear end of his car, and yeah,
His
so now
reaction though, he turns around, he just looks at it and he goes, "That's a
Yeah.
bomb."
Yeah,
And it's
just
like,
so
"Well,
you
gotta
know.
go faster."
yeah, and then we see a train, and he's like passing over, and for some reason the train sign on the side, it has like a skull.
Probably because it's like, hey, there's a railroad crossing here, so you might want to be careful.
But why would there be a skull?
If you're not careful, you die. Unless you're Tintin,
Shouldn't
apparently.
there be skull signs everywhere then? Like, watch out for this fountain, you could die in the fountain.
Yeah.
Watch out for this candy store, you could fall and die.
Yeah. What?
Put that on a new t-shirt. You could die. Yeah, and then he drives over and gets hit by the train. And yeah, now he's sitting on that train with a steering wheel in his hands on the front of the train, and he survived somehow.
Of course. He's
Yeah.
just a little dazed.
Yeah, whatever. And Snow ended up in the engine somehow, and they drive all the way into Moscow, I think. Yeah, and all
I think it's like close to the border of Russia is what I think it is.
no, but like there's Russian like signs. Yeah. Yeah, so he stops there, and he goes to the prison, I think, or the police station, and they ask him for his papers, and they're like, watch out, that's a journalist. Something must happen to him, something bad. And
He
they,
disappeared.
yeah. And then they like, let's shoot him. No, bad idea. Why they would do that's weird. And they're like, oh, here's your papers, all good. Wait. He actually says that guy had an awful face.
And he's like, dang, that guy was ugly.
Yeah. Then we see like guy poking around the corner like, Chicken is watching you, Mr. Tintin. And then he doesn't see it. Then he goes to buy some clothes, and Snowy can't go in with him. So he's like, meh, I am mad. Well,
Can we just talk about how Tintin was just like walking around in these tattered clothes for
yeah,
like a
like,
while.
this is fine. Yeah, and how
Oh yeah, I should probably fix that.
yeah, and how he
Yeah,
kept
and
both his wallet, his ID, and his like non-existent cell phone. Yes, so then he goes to buy some clothes, and this shopkeeper looks very fun. Like, It looks like he smoked like 2,000 tons of cocaine. Just saying.
He has
Oh,
an inflated balloon for a nose.
yeah, actually. Oh, like, yeah. And then this Chikan, that's the spy guy. Spy guys. He's like, eating a banana. He's like, whoa, I got an idea. And while Snowy is like, where can I buy bones in Russia?
Mhm.
And then Chikan decides to put the banana on the step so Tintin would slip. But the trickery starts, and Snowy puts the banana, the bananas over to Chikan so he would slip. Yeah.
Also, the spy calls Tintin a whippersnapper, and that's just really funny.
Everyone calls him that
Well, it
for
does.
some reason.
He's called a whippersnapper like 3 times in the series, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
Yeah, Captain Haddock calls him one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny.
Yeah, and then Tintin comes out from the clothes store, and he's like, whoa, I am so cool. And then Chikan's like, what happened? Why didn't he slip? And then he slips and says, what? Wait, what? Yeah. And then he's like, oh, I lost this fight, but I will win the war. And then Tintin's like, let's go get something to eat, but it looks like he's playing on a flute.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing some invisible flute for some
Yeah,
reason.
it really does. And then Tintin's like, oh, our train. And then I run to the train. But he sees like one of those, what are they called?
It's a trolley, right?
Yeah, trolley, I think. And then he goes in there to catch up with the train.
Yeah.
That seems pretty unrealistic.
He's just very strong. He's
Yeah,
moving
like
really fast.
Yeah. Then he catches up to the train, but right before he can jump onto the train, the like handle, I think, or the breaks off, so he falls off, and would probably hurt his back or break it, but he didn't. So he finds some scrap and, for some reason, gets the machine to drive again.
Makes it like a makeshift car.
Yeah.
I
However,
better patent this when I get back.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he does that. And it's a shell, when you find that, like, fuel, shell, for some reason. Yeah. Then the train, another train guy, fat shaming 101, he like gets a telegram or a letter, I don't know, to destroy the rails. So Tintin's like, let me just drive here. And Snowy's like, what, man? The rail's broken. And then they like fly off and would break his back again. And Snowy gets a pipe on his head, so he can't see anything. Then Tintin gets carried inside this train man's house, and
it might be the train station.
Yeah.
But like he's pretending to be dead. He's just like, oh, I better play dead.
Yeah.
And
yeah, great idea. And then he like fist fights this guy, so he nearly dies. He, like, punches him in the butt, and then he somehow wins.
This is a fight.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. That's pretty weird. Then he walks out, and he just walks by the rails. Then they walk into a tunnel, I think. Or like
I think it's like mountains or something.
Yeah, a canyon.
It's like a train thingy.
Yeah, that's pretty like narrow. Then he gets to a corner and the train comes and he gets to a corner and survives. And he gets to a city and sees some guys with, what are those actually? Like photo takers. Yeah, photo takers.
Cameras?
Yeah, cameras, yeah. Words 101. And the Soviet man, he will say, we are producing mass of industry. You cannot care less about us. Yeah. And all the yeah, he has a head. And all the journalists is like, beautiful, very nice, very nice. But then Tintin decides to walk in the factories and sees they're just burning hay and smashing some metal. But one thing I find very odd is that look how far away the journalists are from the factories. That's like solid, like 500 meters or more.
Tintin teleports over there.
Yeah,
apparently.
But the guy like smashing the metal. How hard is he smashing that metal? Since that they can hear it. Yeah, and he what?
Pretty hard, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Clang, clang, clang.
Yeah. Wait, in Danish it just says bing, bing, bing.
Oh, it says clang for me.
Oh.
Same here.
Yeah, and Snowy says that must be Russian jazz, a Russian jazz band.
Of course.
Tintin walks out again and sees that's probably the Soviet propaganda. And he walks to a restaurant and sees a old man who is and he takes him to the what?
Mind if I take over here?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So he takes the guy in because he's like, oh, this poor old guy, he's like homeless and probably starving.
Yeah.
Keeper, he's like, you can't have beggars in my place. Tintin's like, don't worry about that, just feed us. And so they get dinner, they're sitting down at the table.
He's like, what is that?
Yeah.
Tintin, he says, let's hope he doesn't swallow the plate because, of course, he's just so hungry he's gonna swallow that plate whole.
Yeah.
This guy's talking, and Snowy's like, I think I've seen this guy before. And he's like eating and thinking about it, and then he's like, oh my gosh, it's that secret agent guy who tried to kill Tintin with a banana peel.
Yeah, like Chikan. Wasn't that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chikan.
He worked for.
What?
So,
Oh, whatever. Yeah, just go on.
Okay, so Snowy like jumps up onto the chair. He goes over to the guy, and he like pulls off the fake hair and beard and whatever. He's like, what does this little comedy mean? And the spy stands up. He's like, you insulted the OGPU and I'm gonna arrest you. And Tintin, he's like, is that so? And he's like,
I love
yeah.
his face.
Yeah, it's so good. Great face.
He grabs the bowl of soup that he was eating. And he's like, why don't you have some soup first before you do that? And then he dumps it on this guy's head. It's into a fist fight with him, of course. And he wins, obviously.
Yeah, and I like how it's like a nuclear like bomb just blows up in the restaurant. Yeah.
Then Tintin's like, basically, as he runs away, he pays the innkeeper for the damage and pays him for a room for the night. And then he decides to go walk around town. And he sees like this meeting, right? And he's like, oh, it's like elections or whatever. Behind a fence to see what happens. And guys that are sitting, it's like a...
Wait, can you say that again? You cut out.
3 guys sitting at like a... not really a table. Kind of more like a desk.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's like, well, you have 3 lists before you, and the first one is the Communist Party. And they're like, it's the Communist Party? And then they're pointing their guns at them, and so nobody says anything.
Yeah, and it, like, notice the guy to the right, his, like, gun looks so small compared to the 2 others, like, fight me if you dare!
It's a Nerf gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then the Communist Party is unanimously and like watching this, and they try to arrest him for being a spy. I'm not having that. So he grabs like this stick and runs between the guy's legs and knocks him over. And Tintin and Snowy run away, of course.
Yeah.
Go back to the inn, and he goes up to his room and starts writing.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah,
of
there's
paper.
like big pile of papers and he has to like shut it down.
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
I wonder if that's enough copies. He
Whoa,
gets,
grammar. Mine has like really. He says copy instead.
yeah.
It has like
Oh.
really bad grammar for some reason.
Yeah.
For me
Maybe it's just the copy.
For me it just says like reports. Like yeah, so he has like 25,000 pages that he has to write about, that he can write about this. Yeah.
And apparently puts them all in one envelope.
Yeah.
The amount of them, because the next panel, most of them are gone.
Yeah, actually.
I guess.
Yeah.
He decides to go to bed. He's like, I'm going to sleep on my clothes because that's safer. And he falls asleep. At night, these people are like coming up the stairs. They're like agents, right? Because he's asleep. And Snowy hears him, and he's Tintin, bedhead, which is just great. Lovely.
Wait, what?
Oh, I love it.
Like, get into his room, and he wakes up. He's like, oh crap. So he starts like putting on his boots, and he's like, so that they can't open it. I'm just gonna force the door open. And well, they stop fiddling with the lock. So he goes up and is like pushing against it because they're like throwing their shoulders against the door.
Yeah, and somehow like he can hold 3 men back, and the door can like bend so much. Like, yeah.
Physics.
Yeah, physics 101.
This one guy starts charging the door, and Tintin's like, well, I'll just let them in. So he opens the door. He says, do come in, my dear sir. And so the first guy that was charging in, this other guy was coming in, and Tintin slams the door in his face.
Yeah.
So
the trickery. Yeah. What?
The two who are still outside, they're like charging the door too. Door, and Tintin's standing there with a sheet over him. He's pretending to be a ghost. Crap out of them. And he chases them down the stairs with the sheet over his head.
Yeah, and Snowy has like that on too.
Yeah.
And like
Snowy's also a ghost.
Can I just add that he had time to poke holes so he could look out and Snowy could look out. But like, did he do that before, or was he like a master like cutter with a scissor?
I guess he's just a master cutter because it's like in the door,
Yeah.
and then them breaking down the door.
Yeah.
4 panels maybe. So he's just really fast, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't judge the comedy. It's too intelligent for you.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So Tintin chases the guys out of the hotel, and he's like, okay, well, we better get back. The sheet moves, and he can't see out of it anymore because the eye holes are like...
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I can't walk around like this. It's dangerous. Open manhole. And he's like, oh, well, we're in the sewer.
Yeah.
So they're walking through this light.
Yeah. Can I just, like, why is there a giant hole in the middle of the street? And it looks like it's not even a street, it's like a corridor.
Yeah. It's like some back alley.
Yeah, but there's
Apparently.
like lights. Like street lights, street lamps. Yeah.
So, like there's like bars blocking him, right? Climb back up. So he's like, first he tries to yell for help, and of course nobody hears him. So he's like, oh well, I better just go to sleep. And then he's like, I can't sleep in the sewers for some reason.
This is weird.
Weird. It's so
Yeah.
wet and cold down here, and I can't sleep.
Well, I never slept in a sewer.
Come on,
You
man.
guys.
He just needs to find a better sewer.
Level 10 sewer sleeper.
Mm.
That's how mafia works.
So he gets up because he can't sleep. Shocker. At the bars, and it doesn't work. And he kicks it, and obviously hurts his foot. Your temper won't help, Tintin. So he sits down again. He's trying to think. And he says to Snowy, well, you can get out, so just go. I don't think I will. He starts writing his will. Because he's like, well, I'm going to die here, I guess. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then he sneezes the bars loose.
So stupid.
Physics 101. Yeah. Yeah.
Him pulling at the bars doesn't work. Him sneezing, that
Yeah.
won't work.
He has
He's a metal bender. Game theory, film theory. Tintin is a metal bender.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, oh, well, guess we're going to go now. Dives into the water, but it's really shallow.
Yeah.
So he's like walking in the water, and this cop stops and he's like, hey, you see this sign? It says that you can't bathe in that river or whatever. The guy tries to arrest him, and coin on the ground, and the cop stops. He's like bends over to pick it up, kicks him in the butt into the water, and then he's like, can't you see what the sign says? It says no bathing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so mean. I
Yeah.
love it.
It's so mean, but it's also really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like how he's like saying what's he actually doing? He's like playing on his little teeny tiny flute, like
He's blowing a whistle for reinforcement.
yeah, blowing a whistle. Yeah. Words.
Tintin tells them, like, don't blow so hard or you'll burst a blood vessel. It's great.
Yeah.
So, and reinforcements, obviously, and they're shooting at him. And he jumps into, like, a boat. Goodbye with, like, a handkerchief or whatever.
Yeah.
He's trying to win the boat. They get into their own boat. And this one has, like, a gun mounted on it. And they're chasing him down and firing. And it starts to sink. He's sitting there as it's sinking. He's like, don't worry, Snowy.
Yeah.
And
wait, can I just like in my version there's like ski on every word, like so he said like god damn it ski or like oopski. Yeah. And one of their names is like standing on water skis ski. That's one of their names.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that's not a bit racist at all.
Nope. Not at all.
Okay, so Tintin like sings very dramatically actually. He has like his hands sticking out of the water. Tintin, you know you can't bathe in the water.
Oh, who said can you see? Yeah.
Yeah. So the guys are like, oh, well, he's done for, I guess. And like, if he comes back up, we'll finish him under their boat and gets on the other side and tips them over into the water. And then he steals their boat.
Yeah.
He says, forgive me if I don't give you a lift. He crashes the boat, actually, is what happens. Because he's turned around mocking them. right?
Yeah.
So
What a guy.
go into a tree and goes flying, and he lands in this car, and he's like, "Oh, well, that's convenient." And then he steals another car.
He's stolen like 4 vehicles in less
Like,
than.
why do people leave their car keys in there?
Wait, did
Yeah,
they?
like really, this guy was working on the car.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's in it, like.
oh. Wait, but don't you
Over-
need keys to start a car?
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
he's working
So
on the
it's just.
underside. It's like something with the
Yeah.
gas or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get it.
When you want to take over?
Yeah, Milky?
Okay. Okay, so Tintin drives off and he's like, wow, that's the limit. And just you wait, I'm gonna blow you up, I guess.
Mm.
I don't know. I think that's basically what he's saying.
Yeah,
Uh,
the guy
yeah.
working on the car.
Yeah, the guy that was working on the car. And then he's like, in a few hours, they'll be in Moscow. And then fire starts. I don't. Oh yeah, fire starts because he started a fire. Okay, I get it. I get what's
Set
happening
the
now.
gas grill on fire.
Okay, because the petrol was like leaking or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so now Snowy's like, whoa, whoa. I don't know why he barks like that. Really weird.
No, it's not weird.
I
That's
don't know. I
fire.
just can't see it. I can't see. I just can't see Snowy, a dog, like barking like that.
I think it's more like a howling sound.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's fire.
Probably
Tintin,
like
watch out. Wee woo, wee woo.
wee woo wee ooh woo
Oh god.
Tintin ooh woo.
Yeah.
That's how Snowy barks. Okay. And he's like, wow, I guess we're done for crumbs. And then and then he explains what's happening, like as if the reader's stupid. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So then he turns around, he turns over, and then there's like another car there.
It's like a gas car.
No, isn't it like a wagon? Wagon?
Yeah, it's like a gas wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's carrying petrol.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
For me, it's
So then,
oil. Yeah.
it's for like I think it's for like delivering to the car companies. I don't know.
No, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, that guy's in a hurry."
Gee,
Wait,
what am I?
and then they crash, and then they blow up, and then for some
Wait.
reason they're still okay.
Do they crash? Doesn't he like Wait, the wagon that's leaking too.
And the
Yeah,
wagon
I
is also
know.
leaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Blows
know.
up.
Oh yeah, they don't crash. Whoops.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have very bad perception of things happening.
Oh.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, and then only a few more shells to go. What is happening?
That's
I've
like
never
a
been.
that's like a military officer and a cannon and some cannon shells, and the military officer is looking through a pair of goggles, I think. And there's
It's a
like
military exercise.
military exercise.
Okay, so Tintin's driving by, and then bombs.
Yeah, shells.
The
Oh,
ammo.
Yeah.
okay.
Ammo at
And
the
then
side of the road.
yeah, there's I have no idea what's happening. Okay, and then an explosion happens, and then someone's car blows up, and then Tintin's like,
That's not a car. That's like a cannon.
okay,
Close
cannon,
enough. Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so okay, he's like the flames have caught up, and then we'll be blown sky high, and
Yeah.
then
Can I add that the officer, like the military officer, he looks like a robot.
oh
He
yeah,
does.
Yeah, his like face, but
yeah, he's like
his lower leg looks like a real like leg.
It
Yeah.
looks like his leg is glowing. I don't know.
It does.
It's
I
got
think-
like a outline, a white outline.
I think it's because
yeah.
it's black.
It's an artistic choice.
But like, isn't
Okay.
it? Yeah, we're gonna stay with this. Isn't it weird that he like even when he's like exploded, he like still stands there and says fire.
I don't think
Oh
they can
yeah.
anymore, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you know it's a cannon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Just continue.
Okay. I don't want to read. Okay. Okay. Wait. He pushes. He pushes. The car to the nearest garage.
Yeah. They ran out of
And
fuel.
they
'Cause
refill. Yeah, they refill. And he says, "Oh my God!" He says Magneto reference. Sorry, it's just I like. It's an X-Men reference
Yeah.
from the 1920s. Okay, so something happens. It's a breakdown. Yeah.
the car breaks
Uh
down.
yeah.
I love this
And
part, honestly.
Yeah.
he takes a lot of shit out. He's like tossing things out, and then he's
Mhm.
like, okay, yeah, wait. And he's like, there's nothing left under the bonnet. So what caused the breakdown? He just basically broke his own car even
Yeah, he
more.
took everything out of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The engine.
And then it takes him that long to notice the wheel is deflated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'd have heard the
Like,
tire popping or whatever.
yeah, the tire popped. Wait, when did the tire pop?
Maybe it was just like had a small hole and it deflated, but I don't know.
Yeah. But isn't it
'Cause
weird?
it seems fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. Isn't it weird that like Tintin's like the car, we can see like smoke coming off of it, like from the engine,
Yeah.
but it's the wheel.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, that's just a theory.
Okay.
It turns in theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to continue, or
Yeah, I can go now.
because I have no idea what's going on?
Yeah. So Snowy's like, you ain't no mechanic, and he's like, oh okay. And then he puts all of the wait, no, he doesn't. A guy comes up to him, a fat guy, fat Jimmy again. Comes up to him, and Tintin's like, oh, you have fallen because he like put out his foot. So then he's like, meh, you may not do that. Then he runs after him. And then when he's so exhausted, the man that ran after him, he tipped. He puts the wheel around his neck and lets him blow in it.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty hard to blow so much in a wheel, but that works.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he makes it, what?
Pose. He's like, oh, that's my tire almost inflated. He's just so like
Yeah.
smug about this.
Yeah. So then he takes the wheel and puts it on the rim, I think. And then the man is just gone. Like he
Yeah.
just disappears. He's out of story. Then he throws everything in that he took out from the engine, like just like in real life. And then boop, scoop, poop. That's an engine. And like he throws in like bolts and yeah.
He doesn't even put it back together. He just tosses everything in there.
Yeah, that works. And then he has like some leftovers, and he's like, meh, don't need those.
Oh, I love his pose.
Yeah.
He's so like dainty.
Yeah.
He's got his leg up and everything, like
Yeah,
a ballerina.
way with that. Then he starts the car and he zooms away. And he sees, oh, that's Moscow. Then a guard with a really long gun is like, stop, I require your passport. And he's like, fine, I'll stop. And he says, This passport is incorrect. You may not pass. Follow me. And then Tintin's like, are they like illegal? And he follows the Russian man into the truck. And he gets carried in a prison, I think. And he gets thrown down the stairs, and he's like, now I'm in prison again, for the third time. One book. Killing spree.
The third time today.
Yeah. And he sees like, oh, there's so like, wet in here. And he looks out through the bars, and there's like a giant lake. Then a Soviet man comes down and says, the prison inspector wants to see you. And he goes up to talk to him. And that's fun, but he tells him that he needs to tell us why he is going to Russia. But the Russian man asks him for the secrets, but Tintin will not answer. So he gets put in a torture room with 2 Chinese men with a bunch of Chinese weapons. Why they're Chinese, I do not know. But they are.
Who knows?
Yeah. Then they say, we will start with the glowing hot iron stick. Then Snowy's like bites him in the butt. So he falls on a spiked wooden object, I think. Yeah. So then he's like,
hurt.
Yeah, big oof, oof.
He can never sit again.
Yeah. Then the other guy, he's like,
You'll need a prostate check. Sorry.
Nice. Then the other, what?
He goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, what happened? And it's like, I sat on like this wooden board with spikes as I was trying to torture some kid.
Whoopsies. Yeah. Then the other torture guy, he's like, dumb dog, you will pay for it. While Snowy is just standing there, looking away. Like, yeah, nice words. Then Tintin's like, oh, I must save Snowy now. Then he takes the glowing hot iron stick and burns the guy that was going to kill Snowy. And he's like, oh, this is hurting me. What do I do? Then the prison inspector comes on and say, Tintin sure is not having fun in there. Well, it's just like the torture man, like being tortured by his own weapons.
Yeah, the guy's like screaming right in front of the door.
Yeah.
So the prison guy is like, oh, that must be Tintin. And Tintin, he's like, wow, that guy sounds horrible when he's screaming in pain.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Then the prison inspector, he's like, oh, you may now go to your prison house. What? And he's like, oh, go down in there, and kicks him down the stairs. Yeah, it's like a basement-ish. Then he sees like a diving suit in the corner.
Of course.
Yeah, why there's a diving suit, nobody knows. But that's just a theory. Yeah.
The rest is going for diving, and the person just left their diving suit there. They're like, well,
No.
I won't be needing this anymore.
Yeah. So then he puts on the diving suit, and he somehow gets like a knife to cut like the bricks, yeah. And opens a few so he can get out, while Snowy just goes through the one. Then he looks a lot like an alien and goes up. And while like some other like officers are like, oh, that's Mr. Tintin's dog. We will now kill it and sew it and put the rock around its neck. And that's like really brutal. And then Tintin's like, yeah. Then Tintin's like, in his like diving suit, stop that! You will regret your choices.
He rises up like Aquaman.
Yeah.
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 I love that pose.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he's like, they flee because they're so scared. Then there's 5 men, count them, like with guns and pistols, like shooting at him, but they do not hear. The Russian hiding program was not what it has been. The Russian accent is not what it has been either. Yeah, and then it's like he does the same trick, takes off like the diving suit and puts it in like a sitting position, while Tintin has swum in the lake again and has dived, so they couldn't see him. Then he comes up again, but then he sneezes, like, and then they shoot at him again, and he dives under the water again, and fools them again with the trickery. Then he throws like so many rocks. He throws a rock at one of the officers, dives in the water again, and throws another rock, and does, yeah. Then the 3 other, like, fleas. Like, that's not a human, that's a demon.
Yeah.
The rock
Considering all the stuff he survived, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And then he goes, what? Go on.
Walks away. He's like whistling with his hands in his
Yeah.
pockets. He's just so proud of himself.
Yeah. Then he goes back into Moscow, I think, and sees how bad it was because of the revolution, I think. And it's like, oh, this is so sad. Hashtag so sad. And then he sees a bunch of like poor kids with no food and starving. And then and a guy with a table of bread handing that out to children in line. And then he says, "Communist? Are you communist? Da? Then you make good bread." And then Tintin's like, "Oh, that's actually so bad." Snowy's like, "Oh, poor children." Then a kid comes up, and the Russian man says, "Are you not communist? Take this, you stupid dog." And kicks him away down on the floor, on the road, because he's not communist. And Tintin's like, he watches it like 20 centimeters away from the man. While Snowy's like, "I'ma steal this bread." And he takes the bread. And the Russian agent, he throws like rocks and shoots at the dog, Snowy.
Yeah.
And Snowy gives the bread to the non-communist man, non-communist child. And that's so cute. Then the agent is like, "Oh, that stupid dog. I'ma get revenge." Then there's like a corridor which like Russian agents, I think, are going through, and there's like standing a soldier outside. Then Tintin goes in a closet and
it was a house, like an empty house.
Yeah, a house, I
or
think.
something like that.
Then one agent walks by and he takes his clothes again.
He beats him up first and then takes his clothes.
Yeah. He like, yoink, my person now. And he looks like so legit. He looks actually like yeah. Then he goes to that meeting, and the Russian man, I think it's supposed to be Lenin, but I do not know. He says, "Comrade, we are in need of corn. We've sold that little bit of corn we have to use as Russian propaganda. We need to prevent the spread of hunger in the Russian and Soviet country. We will now send out the Cossacks to destroy and kill the rich peasants of corn." So Tintin goes in the military and looks very short compared to the other.
He does look so short.
Yeah. So yeah, he's now a soldier, and they drive out to they stop. Yeah, they're in this car, funny looking car, and they drive out to a city or like town, But for some reason,
Village?
village. The car stops and Tintin can run all the way out
Yeah.
there. And warns the
Peasants.
peasants-ish to hide their corn. They decide to hide the corn in their mattresses instead of hay. Then the soldiers march. What?
Of Tintin's pose when he figures this out. Like, it's
Yeah.
just so. I love
We
it.
dub face. Yeah. Then the soldiers march in the city, and they're like, "You will now give us all the corn you have." And you say you don't have any corn, we will search your house. And yeah, all the soldiers are like, they're searching everywhere, and they three like, medium height, very high, and Tintin. They're like three soldiers. Yeah, they're like empty, empty, empty.
If I take over?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so they're like getting pissed off that there's no corn. They're like, they have to have some. And he's like, well, this guy right here, take him to jail and torture him. And he's like, you have no right to do that, and no right to speak back to me. They arrest him, obviously. And then they're gonna shoot him. And the guns, they go off, but they were blanks. Because Tintin, like, changed with cardboard,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, so he doesn't die.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, and he the planning, he has planned everything. He planned of that, thought of that in the car. Yeah.
So him and Snowy run away. Freaking snowing. So they just stop in the middle of the snow. He's like, oh, well, I can't go any farther, so I guess I'll die.
Yeah.
Guess I'll die.
Guess I'll die. Yeah, beside a bush.
Yeah. And so him and Snowy get covered in snow. And these agent guys, they're coming through the snow too. We had to go over Tintin, that stupid journalist spy, next to Tintin and Snowy, but they don't realize it. They're like, man, don't know where he is. And they're sitting around a fire, and the fire melts the snow on Tintin and Snowy. And the guys chase after him, and he falls down this hill. He he gets shot in the butt, I guess.
Wait, does he? I don't think he gets
think
shot. Wait, oh yeah, he does. Yeah. Yeah,
he gets shot in the butt.
Yeah, he hits this tree, and then one of the agent gets hit with 5 Gs of tree.
Yeah, he's going over this tree, and he pulls it back so that when he leaves, it springs up and hits the guy in the face, and then they shoot him in the butt. Down the hill like a snowball.
Yeah.
And he slams into a different tree.
Treeception.
Treeception.
And this that second tree is the cousin of the first tree and didn't like how Tintin used him.
Yeah.
This bear comes over Tintin's vodka and starts drinking it.
Yeah.
And the bear gets drunk. Tintin's like, well, it's my moment to get away. And he gets up and starts. The bear grabs Snowy to eat him. And so Tintin fist fights a bear and wins.
Yeah.
Or like foot fights.
Yeah.
He just kicks
he
him.
kicks him a lot.
Yeah.
His face, he's just he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Just I'm sleep kicking.
Yeah.
Wait, oh yeah. We Hadouken.
I gotta fight a bear.
Yeah.
This drunk bear that drank my vodka.
Yeah, it got really drunk so fast. Look, drunk now. Yeah.
It's a small canister, and I assume Tintin had it because keep warm or whatever because it's cold.
Yeah.
Drinks one small canteen and then is drunk.
Yeah.
That works.
I've noticed a recurring theme Like whenever Tintin like gets hurt, he just gets in a black eye.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, it's a little more understandable because he did just have a fight with a bear.
Yeah, but even when it doesn't make sense, like when he blows up, he just has a black eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
He got shot in the butt, but that doesn't seem to be bothering him in the least.
No.
It's
Okay.
fine.
So should we continue?
Yeah. Don't you want to continue, Milka? You haven't said so much.
Yeah. Okay. Should I continue now or like?
Yeah. Yeah, just do that.
Okay. Oh, also, I got whipped cream instead of water because I couldn't find any water. So I just
Nice. Good.
Anyway, I feel
True
okay.
American.
So
Yeah.
I'm Canadian. So anyway, he's okay. So he beats up the bear and he does this stance, triumphant stance. Okay, and then he tries to make a fire with a bunch of stuff lying around.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I don't know where he got that.
I think I just would, don't you think?
Oh yeah, wood, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like branches from like
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
trees.
branches.
Also, he says that he's like, man, it's lucky that the newspaper I work for taught me how to make fire without matches.
What the
Okay.
hell?
Yeah.
He should have said scouts. I think he actually learned that from like the scouts, because he's a
Probably.
Boy Scout. Yeah,
Fucker.
and
Tintin Boy Scout.
and so then okay, so he makes the fire, and then but he actually made it on top of a frozen lake. I think, yeah, pretty much. And then
Yeah.
and then they disappear, and then it melts the snow, and then he drowns, I guess. Okay,
No,
but
I
then
don't.
he emerges. No, he doesn't
Wait.
drown, but
No, it's
then
like. Yeah, the floor pops, so he goes
Yeah.
through with the fire.
Yeah. So then, but he doesn't like come back up in the same hole. It would have been easier to just come back up
Yeah.
in the same place, but he comes back up he like crashes through ice in a different spot.
Yeah.
And so now he looks like the abominable snowman combined with Slender Man. He looks like
True.
Slender Man but snowy.
Yeah.
Heck, pun. And then okay. And then somebody comes around. I don't
Yeah.
know who that is.
I think that's the Russian riders like on horseback. It's like called the Cossacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he finds Tintin. He's frozen, so he drags him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it was kind of 3, but now I'll take him to Moscow. No trouble at all. Yeah, no trouble. Like not, it's not like he's gonna get cut off or something.
Yeah.
So then, Snowy's there. I don't think he notices Snowy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like he doesn't notice Snowy's there.
Yeah.
So since Snowy's free, he can do something.
Mhm.
And there's a box buried in the snow, and then
Mhm.
it's salts. He uses the salts to
No, it's not so. It's
thaw.
the League of Legends community. Someone's gonna get mad about that. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
I'm out of whipped cream.
It sounds like you're vaping.
Not really. Okay, wait. I have to shake it. You know what? I'm gonna drink whipped cream later.
Oh.
Okay. The salt. Okay, so Tintin thaws. And then he gets mad, and then he's like, fight me.
Yeah, he basically he's like, square up, dude.
Yeah.
Square up.
Yeah. Can I just Snowy he pours the salt on Tintin, so he unfreezes. Yeah.
I said that. Ooh. That's good whipped cream. Okay. So, so then Tintin's so confident that he thinks that he isn't that buff, but he takes off his clothes and he's like, oh god.
Wait, no. He takes off his coat.
Yeah,
We'll
not
take-
not all.
Yeah.
Yeah, just his coat.
Yep.
And then he's like, I'll tear you to pieces. But he doesn't actually do that. He just throws him.
Critical strike. You are thrown enemy.
Fatality.
Fatality.
And then he's like, watch out. Snowy's like, watch out. And then Tintin surrenders, but he doesn't. So he tries to punch him. And then he ducks. And then and then when the branch hits him, they make the funniest faces.
Yeah, Tintin's like, I'm dead, and he just has the best expression.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, I'm dead. He looks like Olimar from Pikmin. Yeah.
I guess.
So cute. And then the soldier's like, he just makes the most dramatic pose as he's hit by the branch. Okay.
No, he will make like a noise.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. And so then he takes the coat. I think it's his coat, yeah. And he takes
the other
his
guy's
coat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Takes the other guy's coat. Then he takes his horse too.
Yeah.
Tries mounting it, and then but it doesn't work. I don't know why. I thought if he knows how to make a fire, shouldn't they teach him?
They didn't
like,
teach.
why don't
They didn't
teach him how to ride a
The way he climbs on is so stupid too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so silly.
Like,
Yeah,
seriously, has he never been on a horseback? Pathetic. Am I right?
Yep. Apparently, at this point, he's never been on a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He should I thought he knew how to do everything pretty
Yeah.
much from what the comics have shown.
Yeah.
He can.
He figures it out later, I guess. Because I guess
He
he
knows
went
how to-
home. After this, I guess he goes home. He's like, I better learn how to ride a horse.
Yeah. Bucket list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he even knows how to drive too. Anyways, he's like, wow, galloping is really much easier when he was just struggling. But I guess he's getting the hang of it. And he's like, whoa there, name of the horse. I don't know how to say that.
Rosinante? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'd like to meet the chap who said man's most noble conquest was the horse, which is pretty funny to me.
King off the side of the horse, as he says.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah. Then he sees footsteps. Wait. But they aren't the horse's footsteps, because the horses don't leave footprints. Only humans do.
Yeah, don't you know that? That's like physics. Only humans can leave footprints. Just like
Tintin,
go on.
Okay, so Tintin gets mad at the horse, and he goes, "I'll never catch a horse again," which is funny because he's lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Kosa, what were you saying?
I don't remember. But I can say that, isn't it weird that he has frozen to death since he doesn't wear gloves. His ear, chin, and nose and eyes are not covered. He is covered by a coat that doesn't cover his chest.
Well, he's a shirt
Yeah.
undercoat, so like I guess the undershirt is really warm.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah.
Mm, he's really freezing to death. Okay, does anyone want to continue, or should I still go?
Mega?
Yeah, okay. So he gets up and he starts following the footprints, and they lead to this abandoned shack. And he's like, and he goes in, comes home. Obviously not, because like it's abandoned.
Why is it abandoned? Oh yeah, because it's a summer cabin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this grandfather clock that
Yeah.
is ticking.
Yeah.
He says it's really weird for that to be going off because this place is abandoned. The fireplace, there's like a cauldron with skulls in it and stuff. He gets freaked out. It's open because the wind blows it open, right? And he goes,
Mm-hmm.
well, I guess I'm stuck here because that storm out there is getting really bad. The clock starts to chime 13, and then a skeleton pops out, and Tintin's so freaked out that he like falls over the table, over it, I guess, and knocks it over. And he's like, I think I'll leave now, but the storm keeps him from leaving. So he's like, well, guess I'm in this haunted house now.
Time to eat.
Yeah, he goes, maybe we'll find something to eat in this abandoned haunted house.
Yeah.
So he goes to the cupboard to find food and like hits him in the face, falls on his head. He's having a great day.
Yeah.
Almost. I don't know what that face is. You know when he's like when the painting is about to hit his head. Like, is that his mouth?
That's his
I
nose,
don't
I
know.
think.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Okay, cool. Carry on.
He starts hearing like a ghostly voice saying, "Oh, you're gonna go to hell and stuff." And he's like, "I'm gonna get to the bottom of this." He's like ticked off at this point. And he hears the voice coming from the floorboards, and he's like, "You know, the ghost must have a cold to have such a hoarse voice, right?" Floor, and there's like this gramophone.
Yeah.
It's like playing this record. Ladder down there. And so he goes down a ladder and there's a door that he tries to open for like an hour. Go back up and he's leaning against the door and that opens it because there's like these buttons on the door. And he puts his elbow against the buttons and he falls backward into the room. Knock him out. They're like, time to take him to the leader. You might want to tie him up. I want to talk to him. Tintin wakes up. He's like, hey, where am I?
Yeah, and he's like tied up with like 7 different ropes, like 1 rope for each foot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're explaining that it's a bunch of prominent figures collected, well stolen from the people there, right? So it's like a storage area for stuff stolen from the people. And mentioned that he's gonna die because he has too much information and stuff. And the guy leaves to break the ropes, but can't because there's like 50 of them, right? He hears a noise, and Snowy pops up, and he goes, "Cuckoo, it's me," which is great.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Peekaboo. Yeah.
That would have been funnier.
His skull is made out of metal.
Apparently.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, Snowy chews through the ropes. Tintin's pose here. He's like dramatically like up, and he goes, "I'm free thanks to Snowy."
Oh my god, he looks like a Star Wars Ranger. I just noticed. Like
Does.
that, like Star Wars character.
Yeah.
I just noticed.
Like yeah, he actually does.
Yeah, I know. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, so the bad guys come in and see him trying to escape, and he turns off the lights, and they beat the crap out of each other. And he goes, "Well, that takes care of that." Leaves and they're exploring because, you know, instead of trying to escape with your life, it's best to just go around exploring.
Yeah, but like he has to like remember all of this. Yeah. Like like a solid week. He just have to like remember second by second. Yeah.
Okay, so he finds like storage for grain and vodka for propaganda purposes. Snowy's like, Tintin, your curiosity is gonna kill us.
Yeah.
And
I
Tintin's
agree.
like thinking over like, oh man, this sucks that all these people are like dying and stuff while they hoard all the stuff over here. And this guy comes around the corner and sees Tintin like and kill him. And Snowy picks up the cigar that the guy had in his mouth. Snowy wants to piss off this guy by holding its cigar and into the dynamite storage. And the guy
Hey.
freaks out. Snowy has a cigar and he's like, oh crap, this place is gonna go up in flames. And Tintin bars him in there. Snowy goes over to the dynamite with the cigar, and Tintin like turns around and he like freaks out. He gets the door open. He doesn't think to take the bar off the door.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Panicking.
Oh my god. I thought he was
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
Thought he was strong enough to lift a car.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
The explosives go off. Tintin thinks he's dead, but no, he's fine. Fuse that exploded, and not the actual dynamite. We're dead. And Tintin bandages Snowy because Snowy got like burnt and stuff from the fuse. So they leave the dynamite, and he goes into the airplane hangar pilot's costume and puts it on, and he like tricks them plane. Or he just is like, hey, is that plane ready, comrade? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. So he gets in the plane, and so they run into a storm, obviously.
Yeah.
Bad things happen around Tintin.
Yeah.
Apparently. He I guess he just has like, depending on how you look at it.
Bad luck or good luck. He has both bad luck and good luck.
Yeah.
It's chaotic luck.
He's like a superhuman with bad luck. So he can survive the bad luck.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Can I take it from here?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he takes the plane into a storm, but he gets struck by lightning and crashes down, nose first into the snow. But they both survive. Whipped cream. Yeah.
I'm out of whipped cream.
Oh no! Our food and water
Okay.
ran out 5 days ago.
Okay. Just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm out of whipped cream, so the noise won't bother you anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So Tintin's like, help, Snowy, help me. Wait, yeah. Snowy's like to Tintin, help me. I'm in the fuel tank.
Yeah.
So he's like drowning. Then they like pull out the aircraft, the plane, but the propeller is broken off. So he cuts down a tree with a pocket knife. Somehow. And then he cuts a propeller by himself, and that takes him a night. And that's like what?
Takes him to do this.
Yeah. That's like a 2 meters in diameter of a propeller that he just cuts overnight.
He also cut down the tree in like the span of a day too, with that tiny pocket knife.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he puts on the propeller that he cut exactly precise and great. But then it goes in reverse. So he's made it incorrect. So then So then he has to make another propeller. Start all over and do that again. He makes that in the same day. Somehow. Yeah.
Just my luck.
Yeah. 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 Then they fly off, but Tintin falls off the plane.
Yeah, he falls
What?
out of it because he's like leaning over to look at something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he's looking at the fuel tank.
Yeah, the fuel tank is leaking, so
Oh
he's
yeah.
like hanging by
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Then he falls out, but grabs the wheels, the bar between those. So he hanging in those, flies over skydiving. No, not but just diving in midair, and he can't really do anything. He nearly flies into a chimney. Yeah, chimney. And it's just then he somehow gets up again. Pretty weird, but yeah, he does. Then the plane lands safely because yeah, he lands it. Then everyone is like, "Congratulations, you are so great!" And everyone's like, "Hip hip hooray!" And Tintin's like, What's going on? They're so happy." And then he finds out that it's like a race, yeah, flying race. And now he's in Berlin, and they talk English for some reason.
Of course they do.
Yeah, in Berlin. Then they drink a bunch of champagne, and they drink and they drink and they drink, and he gets really drunk.
Gets plastered.
Yeah. And Snowy's like, "That's a bloody good champagne."
And
Yeah.
Snowy's also super drunk.
Yeah. He goes to bed with all of his clothes on again. And Snowy is dreaming about him sailing because he's so drunk too.
Yeah. Tintin is like super hungover.
Yeah. So Tintin has like some red wine, I think, and has on his
something for his headache.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's what's that actually? A bandage? Hey, what?
Yeah.
I think so. It might be something like a cold press.
Yeah, probably.
Like.
Yeah. So he's drinking some like something. What is it? Is it vinegar?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't read it. I don't understand.
Wicht.
Wicht?
Yeah. YICHT, I think.
I do too.
It's definitely something for his hangover, though.
Yeah. Then someone knocks on the door, and it's the three policemen. Why they would do that? Yeah. Yeah, but one of the guards say that it was a great idea. Quote, it was a great idea to put on German police uniforms. But Tintin doesn't hear that.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently, but we hear that. Yeah, so he gets in the what's that? Police car? Yeah. And punches I guess 3 guards. And yeah. So he punches the first guard out of the car, like, bah! Out on the road. And the second guy.
He just straight up knocks a guy out the window. Like
Yeah.
a full grown man.
Yeah.
Oh god. No.
Yeah.
Bad Tintin.
And he throws out this third guy out of the back window, and Snowy's like, meh. Looking at him is so funny. And then he's like, "Oh, that's all of them." But then the driver is like, "What are you? You're not supposed to be there," and slaps him with a sausage. I think. Yeah, whatever that is. Then Snowy's like, "Tintin, are you dead? Yes or no? Say something."
If you're dead, you can't say yes. Oh my god.
Tintin, are you dead? If dead, say dead. Yeah. Then the driver carries him out and say to a window. And then a guy from the window says, "Is that you, Vladimir? Do you have the package?" And Tintin gets carried in another basement. Yeah.
When he's like flopped over over the guy's shoulders, really funny too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then a guy like goes down and says, You may get 100,000 rubles if you become agent for the GPU. Yeah, the GPU. Or else we will kill you. What do you say? No, I will not. And Snowy says, no, I will not either. Then the man says, you will get 3 minutes to choose otherwise, unless we will kill you. After 3 minutes. Words. Then Snowy's like, I must find a way to save Tintin. And the man with that Russian man, he just stands there in 3 solid minutes with the keys. Yeah. And then a tiger comes down to the basement. Why that does exist, I don't know why.
There are no tigers in Russia, right?
No, I don't think so. But that's in Berlin.
Escaped from the zoo.
Oh, I forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. Then we see Snowy going down in a bigger tiger cosplay.
Yeah.
In like too big. For some reason they had that. Then he meets his rival, the true tiger. Then he says "Oof!" to the tiger, and the tiger runs out with the GPU agents. Yeah, and Snowy doing the same. Then Snowy gets his tail gets caught in a bear trap, and he just stands there. So now he has the rear end of his cosplay. Yeah, cosplay. That's the new word. Is like stuck in the bear trap. So half of him is like a dog, and half rest is tiger. Then 3 geese and a goat. These men like, what's that? That's Snowy that sees them. Yeah, and then like the entire like Russian wildlife. Yeah, goes and sees. Look at this weird dog. Yeah, that's like cows and donkeys. Yeah, so Snowy runs into a building and sees him in a mirror. Yeah. Then he takes off his cosplay, and now he's the true Snowy. Whoa! Then he goes down to the basement again, where Tintin is what is he there? Yeah, chained up. And Snowy takes the keys and frees him. Then they walk to Berlin.
Okay, but like Tintin, when he gets free, does this like
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, he does it with his Tintin's free. Yeah. Then they see Berlin and the factories there. And everyone is looking at him, and they order a meal and eat very well. And can you give us a room? Jawohl, Herr. A server says. Yeah. So then they wait. Yeah.
Want me to take over?
Yeah, I do that. I don't think I can see what this is. Yeah. Yeah, go on.
So he gets like a room front because it's like an inn that he ate at. So he's like, "Hey, can you give me a room?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." The room. He's like admiring a painting in the corner, and the person who escorted him up there is like putting flowers, right? And he sneaks away. He's like, he didn't notice anything. And Snowy smells the flowers and passes out. And Tintin freaks out, right?
Yeah.
These flowers. And he's like, hey, what's happening? I feel sleepy and stuff. And so he stumbles over to the window and opens it. And like tried to use chloroform on me. And coming in, and so he pretends to be knocked out. And the guy's like, oh, you know what? You've escaped every trap, but not me. Up and kicks him.
Yeah.
Damn. Yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that
Yeah.
yoga he does. And he's like jumping around trying, like, it's hard to explain this pose, but it's great. He's basically just like, fight me.
Yeah, fight me, bro. Fight
Fight
me
me,
if you
bro.
dare.
Right.
Fight me.
Yeah.
That seems to be Tintin for this whole comic, apparently. He
Yeah.
just wants to fight everybody.
Fight me if you dare, you fool. Yeah.
So, yeah. Ties him up,
Yeah, he gets tied to a chair.
and he's like, who do you work for? Aaron finds like this letter in the guy's coat pocket, and he's like, oh crap, I have to alert the police right now. He finds this officer outside, and he says, I've arrested a dangerous criminal, and he's an agent. He shows the cop the guy he tied up to his chair, and they arrest him and take him to the police station. The guys a paper, and they're like, oh man, this document is like their plan to blow up the capital of Europe.
Yikes.
Like, you did good job saving Europe, Tintin, and here's your dollar reward.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is
Like
Wait.
that
Oh.
if like that's during like the when like Germany got bankrupt, 20,000 marks isn't a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah, like
He
a single
doesn't
beverage.
seem to care.
Yeah, maybe that was after or before.
Yeah, because this
Mhm.
was the 30s.
Yeah, but
This
it could
published.
be the 50s.
I think the original Tintin in the Land of the Soviets was published in the 30s.
Could be.
It was
Okay.
1929.
Yeah. Shall I continue? Just take the rest.
We're
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
Dips. I'll take the rest. Yeah. So he says to Snorri that they're going back to Moscow again. So he buys a brand new car. And he can drive up to 150 kilometers an hour. That's pretty good.
Mm.
Then he goes to buy some new Russian clothes.
Mm.
And they drive, and Snowy's not happy about going back. And yeah, then they drive in the rain, but they see a train. That rhymed. Poetry. Yeah, but for some reason, wait, what happens?
The road is so slick that when they turn, it throws Tintin into the train.
Yeah, and it says on the side nach Bruxelles, and that means to
That's
Brussels.
probably like the train to Brussels is what that means.
Yeah. Then the train man that's supposed to take his ticket, he like, what's this supposed to mean? Because like he just stood by, Tony got hit. So he's like, you will have to pay for it. And Tintin's like, I'll have to pay for all the damages.
Tintin,
then-
he's like, the guy's like, I'm gonna have to arrest you for jumping onto the train, and Tintin goes, don't do that.
Yeah,
I
that
love
would be pretty sad.
He's just like, don't.
Yeah.
Let me pay.
So Tintin's like, alright, we'll go home, since the train was to Brussels. And take a rest. Yeah, take a rest. And then Snowy's like, the end of living so dangerous. And then they're all like, oh, this is so great. And Snowy's like, he like, what does he actually do? What's he doing? Like brushing
Combing?
Yeah, brushing himself.
Oh,
That-
yeah. You forgot the part where Tintin gets so excited to be back in Belgium that he's like dancing with.
Yeah,
Snowy.
yeah.
So cute.
It looked like a Russian dance. Yeah. So he's like, oh, we're going to, now we're at Liège, and that's like in France, I think. Yeah. So they stop, and it's like a massive like festival. Everyone is so happy, and like, long live Tintin.
Mhm.
The
They're so excited.
end.
Final thoughts on it.
I think it's great. This is one of my favorite books. I love it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like,
I think it's really funny all the trouble Tintin gets into.
yeah, it's like there isn't like any like kind of like climax. Like it's just like the end of this trouble. New mission. The end. New mission.
He actually has a personality he does in like the recent books.
Yes, less or more.
Mm.
It's like he's so different in the Land of the Soviets than he is for the rest of the series, and it's just so funny to see him act the way he does. Like, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like way meaner than he's like alternating between being
Mhm.
mean and being nice in this comic,
Yeah.
and that's yeah.
I think
don't
this
know.
is one of the few times in this book where he actually gets drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets drunk twice here, doesn't he? Yeah.
But he gets, because not only does he actively drink so much that he's just plastered, but he has
Yeah.
a hangover the next morning,
Yeah.
which that didn't happen in the second time he got drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
and
just wakes up and he's fine.
yeah, and he beats up like he like kicks a bear over vodka.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it shows that he like cares about it.
Yeah. Well, he beat up the bear because it was trying to eat Snowy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Also,
forgot.
like, yeah, like I think in this book there's like a few. He beats. Wait. He wins a fist fight the most times in this book. Words.
Yeah.
101. Yeah.
That's because he like willingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just drunk all the time. So he's like extremely like evil, like wants to
He's
fight
just
everyone.
really wanting to fight.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
is so eager to fight everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like as he gets older, he's like, wow, that's actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
I should stop
But
fighting.
I don't think he actually gets older in the series. It doesn't look like
Well,
it.
I mean, he kind of like, yeah, he does, but he does get more mature.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like in the later books it looks like it's like more like modern problems. Don't spoil anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
also he looks way taller.
Yeah.
Mm.
Probably.
He
Yeah.
finally grew.
I should get that as a t-shirt.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So
He, like,
this was the Tinmore Podcast. Yeah. And I was joined. My name was Koso, and I was joined by Mecca and Melkai.
yeah.
Do not die and don't drink as much as Tintin here. See you outside, gamers.